Alright, I gotta knock this out quick because I thought I was gonna have a Borderlands video going up tomorrow, but it's not in an acceptable state yet for what I want it to be, so I'm still gonna be working on it. And it's rather hot right now, and in order for me to record voiceover, I have to turn my AC unit off so it doesn't get picked up by the microphone. So, and my cat's yelling at me about something that she feels is justified, but she's not allowed to do. Yeah, you. And also, I actually kind of enjoyed making the last LiveCom. It felt like I was streaming, and then when I went to go edit it, it felt like I was making a highlight of a stream or whatever, and had an enjoyable time doing that. So, for today, we're going to be talking about the new/featured gear buff, and why I think it's bad. Now, there's a lot of discourse surrounding this, and I don't think people are really approaching it in the right way, in my opinion. I think a lot of the discourse that you see around it is like I think a lot of the discourse surrounding whether or not this is good or bad is like the wrong take, right? So like for example, right, the concern that it's going to become mandatory is whatever. This game is not even remotely close to difficult, so using an at-max 10%, I think is what the number they went with, damage buff is not going to be mandatory any more than it's currently mandatory to run, like,
Clash.
Unvoiced Hezen's Vengeance in all content, right? Like, I don't think that 10% damage buff is going to be a necessity at all times. What I do take issue with is how seemingly desperate this decision to include some kind of buff like this is. Like, I don't... Oh, that's a great start, team. Every ability known to man is popping off. Oh, we're just surrounded and dying for it. Oh, that's cool, I get... Oh, yay! This is gonna be awesome. I cannot wait for my team to never win another gunfight. The new and featured gear new/featured gear buffs are, in my opinion, bad. I think people are not discussing the problem that those buffs actually make worse. I think they're approaching it from a very specific angle that sucks, and I wanted to talk about that today. So, there's this concern that I keep seeing posted, because the people who play this game only think about one fucking thing, and that the 10% buff is going to become mandatory, and using anything else is throwing. Now, I've talked about this numerous times across multiple videos, but this game is not hard. That 10% damage swing is not going to mean anything when in the content that the average person that's complaining about this is going to run, the content where that 10% damage is going to fucking matter. It doesn't matter if I do 1,000 damage or 1,100 damage if the target only has 500 HP. It does not matter. The game is too easy for it to actually be a necessity. So then, why do I hate it? Why do I not like this buff if it's not going to actually matter? Why do I think it's a detriment? It's seemingly a desperate attempt to convince people to use the new gear. And I mean, I don't have any faith in this player base, but I feel like if you're making a game, if you're making a video game, and you're doing sweeping changes to the video game, you should have a little bit of faith in your audience, and if you don't have any faith in your audience, you should be doing things that are not just 10% or whatever damage swing. Okay. Like, damage swings are... Oh, I'm so stupid. No, I'm very dumb. I'm very, very dumb. But I was under the impression that the new armor set passives, like the set bonus passives, and the fact that, like, the new gear is on a higher potential ceiling than the old gear, was... I'm so bad. Was how they were incentivizing using the new stuff. Like, that... Using new gear is the shit that we do all the time. Like, whenever there's new gear available. I don't... Wow. What a funny Witherhoard moment. Like, we always end up getting new gear that ends up being stronger than the old gear, just on the virtue of it being, like, more horizontal progression, right? Like, I don't... Not even horizontal progression, but, like, getting access to new perks, getting access to new stat, like, thresholds. Like, yeah, making gear that justifies itself is really fucking hard. It's not something that I envy Bungie doing, and a sandbox that's been around for as long as it has been. Oh, I'm getting head glitched.
They've taken the lead.
This is awesome. I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Delightful.
Fuck you. Fuck you too.
It's time, Guardian. Crush them.
It's just jumping. Just fucking spam the jump button. That's what I thought.
Zone B captured.
I'm getting that res up, yep.
Three minutes. You're winning.
You got
Stay
fucking
strong.
ran at. Wow, you all got outplayed. Anybody else? Asshole. Oh, we're doing it like that, though.
Double down.
Okay.
You captured
There it
Zone
is.
C. A
Yep.
victory well executed.
Impressive, truly. All of you are dog shit. Alright, anyway, where the fuck was I? That match pissed me off and I lost my train of thought. I do take issue with the lack of faith in the system that they're putting forth. I really, really think that I think that adding this buff undercuts everything that they're trying to do with the new gear system in place. Like the new shit justify, like, the incentive to use the new stuff is that it is new stuff and can do more things. Old armor, no, I'm not doing that. Old armor doesn't have set bonuses that actually do anything. Like, heal clip on every fucking, like, weapon with the Bushido armor set. Do you really need damage resistance on top of that to justify using the new armor set? Really? No, I don't think you do. If you don't expect people to use the new stuff, you want to incentivize them to do it. I fully understand the logic. I think it's just misplaced. I do think that adding this new stuff in hurts Buildcraft in a way that, in the same way that the Artifact mod currently does, and it just exacerbates that problem. The Artifact system is... I have a lot of problems with it, because it effectively kills Buildcraft. There aren't nearly as many quote-unquote viable builds as you would think there are, given the large variety of weaponry and abilities and all that shit available, right? The Artifact has some very cool effects that it'd be nice to see exist as harder investments beyond choosing something that is always going to be active. Having a permanent addition to the arsenal would be neat. Like, not all of those mods should be in some way, like, added to the game permanently, in my opinion. Like, Classy Restoration is dog shit. And, like, the champion mods are useful in their own right as a necessary evil, okay? But imagine if some of the more lateral effects were new aspects and the stat boosters were fragments. Just like the Tangle generator, or the Tangle causing a pulsing woven mail thing. That would be so cool as, like, an aspect on, I don't care, anybody. Like, stuff like that would be something that I'd love to see as a permanent addition to the game, not just something that's around seasonally. And you're sure you can tweak the power level of what those effects are through balanced decisions, absolutely. But as it stands right now, the Artifact is like, you either run the meta arc or strand builds with the correct weapons, or don't have access to all the cool new abilities and effects this season, right? Like, I don't like that. The decision making has effectively been removed. It's just, hey, you're either gonna run arc or you're gonna run strand, and within that, you take all the arc mods, or you take all the strand mods, or you take all the void mods. Like, that's not Buildcraft. Sure, you don't have to take it all, you don't have to fucking use it, and like I said, this game isn't hard, so it's not like you need to use it, but that makes the decision for the player. And returning to the key point of this video, the new/featured gear buff does that even more. Man, we're queuing for a while, this is annoying. But now we need damage swings to really encourage the idiots. All it's done is seemingly make them even less excited, since the average player is a moron and sees not maximizing potential as actively throwing, even if it isn't. Like, this game is not difficult, it's not going to be required to run this 10% damage buff, but why are we relying on the 10% damage buff to be the thing that gets them to use the new stuff?
Flash.
They're going to use the new stuff anyway. The new stuff is cool. The new stuff is fucking... I am very excited for these core systemic changes. And I get that people were, like, a little let down by there not being anything new and shiny that they see as far as, like, a new subclass or whatever the fuck. Like, I understand that you're worried that the people are not going to be as excited, but I don't think adding a 10% damage buff is going to be the solution that you think it is. I think it actively hurts the build variety in the game. I think it genuinely... like, I think it leads to a lot more negativity, and I don't think people are understanding the problems either. Like, I think, like, you're dead. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not intelligent. That's my teammate's cringe. All right, now you're. I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead. That's fine. Movie traded. Worth. Absolutely worth. I just think the average player doesn't understand what they're actually complaining about and considers certain things to be a negative. And, like, it's made a lot of people really unhappy with the state of discourse. I'm really unhappy with the state of discourse surrounding Destiny, and, like, maybe I'm contributing to it. You know, actually, I know I'm contributing to it by being negative about certain things that are probably not worth being negative about. I don't know, I'm contributing to the negativity, absolutely, and I just... people are putting out tweets about how having a discussion with anything involving this community is really fucking hard. Because anytime that Bungie does something, everyone's like, no, not like that! Or, like, they complain that the thing isn't happening, and then the thing happens, and then they complain that it happened, and it's just... yeah, I get it. It's fucking frustrating. You can't, like, discussing anything in this community is a fucking nightmare, because this community is so unbelievably unique, and to its detriment. Absolutely to its detriment, right? Like, the Destiny community is fucking weird, dude. And like, Cross puts out a video talking about the state of Destiny or whatever, and then talks about how the Warframe community is, like, cool and doesn't, and Bungie, it, like, listens to the community, or doesn't listen to the community in the same way that Digital Extremes does. And, dude, I understand the argument that you're making, but I think that it is not a good one, considering how absolutely distinct the Destiny community is from the rest of the gaming, from other gaming communities. It's actually kind of fucking insane that you think that that is a valid way to go, well, why don't, you know, Digital Extremes is doing it, why can't Bungie just do that? Like, those aren't one-to-one. It's a completely different game. It's a completely different monetization structure. Digital Extremes is a separate company doing its own fucking thing. They're not under Sony, right? Like, there's so many other things that go into that, and the community is absolutely just completely different. The things that the Destiny community cares about are things that most communities don't have problems with, because the Destiny community is just fucking stupid. Like, the average player doesn't know how to play the game. And now, like, part of that is Bungie's fault, because they don't know how to explain things very well. And it's another, speaking of, like, weird shit about that, is, like, why are we going, that like, incandescent enhancement thing, why is that? The actual reasoning for that being that way, it wasn't the text being this perk does an enhanced, or has an enhanced effect. I thought that was placeholder text, but no, it's intentional. They wanted it to be a fucking mystery, and I just don't. Wow, I suck. There we go. And I'm like, that is such a bad, just, like, expectation. I'm so happy that fucking Raffle Waffles is, like, going, this is really not the time to do that, guys. I get wanting there to be mystery, but, like, genuinely, part of the problem with Destiny is that nobody knows how to play your fucking game. So, like, why would you make that worse? Like, a very, very weird decision. He put on Retrixes, that's cute. A very, very weird decision that I don't understand why that Bungie thought it was a good idea, but whatever. It's, hopefully they understand, and things are still subject to change. Just like that, you know, damage buff, because originally it was going to be 15%, but now they're dropping it to 10, so, like, maybe it can just get removed entirely. Okay, dude. Me too. I don't know, man. That's pretty much it. Like, the new gear should stand on its own. We shouldn't have, like, I know people are talking about, like, the timeline should be extended to make the buff more impactful, and, or, like, make it so people don't have to, like, don't feel the need Dude, this is how this guy is playing, and it's so fucking lame. Crouch in corner, sprint slide shotgun. If it doesn't work, hit him with the... Like, that's so annoying. Put the shotgun away, you fucking stupid!
Victory is all
Use your fucking primary!
I don't know, people are concerned about, like, the length of the buff not lasting long enough, and I just think it should get removed entirely. But honestly, at this point, I don't see Bungie removing it, because the sentiment is this buff should last longer. I don't like it when a dev team tries to dictate the meta. Like, back when they were like, we want this to be, like, it's part of the reason why I don't like the artifact, is that it's restrictive. This is the Void season, use Void. This is the Solar season, use Solar. Just... No! Like, I like that it was a Stasis season because I'm a Stasis player, but, like, I'd prefer that things are just usable. I mean, okay, you know what? No, they are usable. I'd prefer it if, like, people were just able to discover things on their own way. Because, like, I think part of the problem is how little variety there is. Even though there's a lot, in practice there's not. People are going to be using the same fucking shit. And most of it is dictated by the artifact. And I see this new / featured gear thing to be just artifact 1.5. It's not even new gear. It's like, it's old exotics because they're tying, their effect is going to be something that has to do with something in the artifact that season. Like, it feels like an extension of the artifact, and I do not like that. That is the entire point of this video. I think I finally figured out why this made me feel so bad. I've been working through it, I've been talking about it to myself and typing shit up and trying to, like, find a key point that just sticks out to me, and I think that it's just, I've said it a couple of times already, but it just, that is the key fucking problem. It is like an extension of the artifact, and I do not like the artifact system. I wish the artifact didn't exist. I get wanting people to use the new stuff and you incentivizing that through adding cool mechanics through the artifact, but I don't like the artifact as a system. Those cool mechanics should just exist. Or be part of something that you invest in. Like a piece of gear that gives you, what's it called? The fucking, particle reconstruction. Give me an exotic that gives me particle reconstruction. Or add it to the fucking exotic class item loot pool or some shit. Maybe make it not as strong, because it is going to be around permanently. But, like, I don't know, dude. Shreds is cool. This is sick. It's another way to apply certain effects. That's neat. I don't care about Perpetual Destruction. Vile Weave is neat. Like, Unraveling Orbs is cool. Horde Shuttle, Flashover, fucking Defib Blast, Limit Break. All these things are cool effects that I would like to exist more than just, oh, well, remember that season? I'm the guy that likes FOMO. This doesn't, like, this going away doesn't feel like FOMO. It just feels like, alright, time to change my shit up because they told me to change my shit up. Instead of giving me a fun reason to change it, it's just now, you are going to use the element that we tell you to use. Why? Because it has extra effects and the others don't. What if I wanted to use the other thing? Well, you can, because this game's not hard, but I don't know, dude. And maybe it allows the game to get a little bit harder to compensate if that shit's around permanently. You know what I mean? Like, having more options, having more things. People talk about how there's nothing to chase. Well, imagine if all those fucking artifact mods that did cool things were now a piece of gear that you could chase to keep you around. You know, or to keep around the entire time you play the game. I don't know. This kind of got away from me, and I apologize, but hopefully my point is coming across here. I think the new featured gear buff is a bad decision that, unfortunately, I don't think is going anywhere. If you could parse anything that I was just talking about here, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions in those comments down below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.